Andrews had a fumble earlier in the fourth as well. He has been such a huge part of their season, a tremendous player. Disappointing end for him and them. Here's Coach Harbaugh on the end for Baltimore.
Mark, there's nobody that has more heart and cares more and fights more than Mark. We wouldn't be here without Mark Andrews. That's what you say to him. So, it's like anything else. I mean, destiny is a decision that you make, and it's a decision is how you handle, what comes in your life. And Mark will handle it fantastic, like he always does, because he's a high character person. He's a tough person, and he's a good person. So, proud of him, just like I'm proud of all the guys. It's football. That's football. This game went the way it went. You talk about all that. There's plenty of playoff games that we had where we didn't turn the ball over. You usually win those. That's just the way it goes. So that's football. So, I think people like to talk about what they want to talk about, and they want to draw conclusions because, that's cool. It's good. I understand it. That's what people love football, and you should be talking about all that. But the men who play this game deserve to be respected, and I know you do. I know you respect them, and because it's tough out there, it's a hard fight. And whoever wins the Super Bowl, man, they earned it, because you got to stack a lot of big wins against really good teams in tough environments. And that's how it goes. That's how it works.
Coach, when you've been here for 8 years, and when you hear things, I'm not quite sure if you heard it or not because you don't pay attention to social media. You hear someone say that Buffalo is a city of losers. How does that motivate you, knowing that you've been a Buffalonian for 8 years?
Yeah, no, it's a city of winners. It really is. It's a city of winners. These people in this town are winners. And I've been here just 8 years, but I consider this my hometown. This place is different, and the people here are different. They deserve more than whoever said that about them.
Some context on the conference championship games next week. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes will meet up for the 9th time. They've split the previous 8. It's been all Chiefs in the 3 playoff meetings, once in the conference championship, twice in the divisional round. They played some all-time classic games. Philadelphia will host the NFC Championship game for the 6th time this century, the most of any team over that span. They get a visit from the NFC East rival Commanders. Jaden Daniels, the 6th rookie quarterback to start a conference title game. None of them reached the Super Bowl. As for the odds to win it, Philadelphia, the favorites from the NFC. Commanders have the longest odds of the 4 teams remaining. I'm sure they think that's just fine. All right, Tim Hasselbeck is back with us. Down to these 4, I think 3 of them were teams we probably saw coming. Washington, maybe not so much. Let's just start with Bills Chiefs. It's a game that we saw earlier this year, but that game was in Highmark in Western New York. Buffalo won it. It's the only game Kansas City lost when they played their whole crew. First thought on that game and what's a differentiator between it?
Well, first thought on it is this. I don't know that there's a team, and I think we've talked about this, that would maybe have more confidence going into Arrowhead and playing that team than the Buffalo Bills. Just the history, their ability to stand toe-to-toe with them in the past, their ability to beat them, familiarity with the coaches. McDermott comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. Mm-hmm. So I think all of that. I think it's a confident team going to Arrowhead. And I think, as much as we want to build these games into being always about the quarterbacks, like Bills, Ravens really was not for the most part. I think this one will be. Mm-hmm. I do think that this one will be about the quarterbacks. Look, Kansas City's offense has not been clicking on all cylinders for most of the season, but I think that you see Patrick Mahomes in the big moments kind of make ridiculous plays, and then they will need to put it on Josh Allen's back, Buffalo will, in order to move the football against that defense.
What's interesting is on Countdown, it might have been Marcus Spears, might have been Kirk Cousins who was with us this week and did a great job, but pointed out the Spagnuolo defense. He said everyone talks about him. What he has an uncanny knack for is calling the play that's the game-winning play at the game-winning time, right? Whether it's a 4th and 10 sack yesterday, which Texas got the ball back. But, I mean, it's just he seems to have that right call at the right time. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is, remember that first game, he had the call on 4th and 1. Yeah. And you broke the whole thing down because he had it called. But that guy being Josh Allen, was able to beat it, and that's why they won. I wonder at some point, like cosmically, if it's going to happen for Josh Allen. It almost feels like it has to go through Mahomes, Kansas City, and Spagnuolo. So maybe this is the year, and maybe I'm connecting dots that don't ultimately happen. But it does feel like at some point, if you're going to solve the riddle, it probably is going to involve the Chiefs, isn't it?
And doesn't it feel like it has to happen? You know, when it was, you know, Brady and Manning, like, you know, like
same kind of thing.
Sometimes you hit the wall for a while before you finally break through it. And I think you bring up a great point about Spags, his ability to get after you and make the right call in the right moment. But sometimes the player is just better than the play call. And I think that's what's really exciting about this matchup is we see that happen all the time with both of these quarterbacks.
And that of course, was the fourth down play where Allen scrambled for the touchdown. And Bernard, who had the huge play tonight, punching the ball out of Andrews' hands, had the game-saving pick. I just wonder this. There's a certain amount of, we played you and we beat you, that Buffalo's clearly got. But there's also the yeah, but. And Kansas City can go, yeah, but how have you done now? And I'm curious from your perspective, having lived it as a competitor, how much does that scar tissue hinder your ability, right? Because you beat them, but not in this round. I mean, you can say you don't think about it, but do you?
I think that it'll be, that's why I said, I think it'll be a confident team going to Arrowhead. I do, because, listen, you did beat them. But I also think this, and I think this goes into Andy Reid's coaching style, demeanor, that I think is unique and special, and it gets the most out of guys. There's going to be a calm and confidence about the way he handles this as well. And I think that will allow his team to play free and not be the tight team in a moment, playing a team that's beaten them when they're supposed to win on their home field. Like, I think that matters as well. Look, I think this is two of the better coaches that we have in the National Football League right now. Their messaging to their teams, I think you always see it. Scott, sometimes I think it's as quick as you talking to Sean McDermott right after a game, and he's already talking to his team. I think they're both good at preparing their teams that way. And that's why it's one of the reasons why I think the teams are going to be prepared. I think it's going to come down to the quarterbacks.
And again, that stat's pretty mind-boggling. The 10 winners so far in the playoffs have 3 turnovers. The 10 losers so far have 21. Tonight, what's the difference in a 2-point game between Baltimore and Buffalo? The 3 turnovers Baltimore had that Buffalo did not. I just hope ultimately when games are won or lost, they're won or lost, as opposed to like it's just crushing for Andrews. He was so good. He's been so good all year.
Especially because of how he's been. I mean, I thought that John Harbaugh's words on him were probably about as good as you could get.
And me not holding the safety, me just knowing the coverage, me knowing it was man, threw a BS interception. It was 7-7 at the time. I believe they scored after that. Battle back, fumble, snap, trying to make something happen. You know, couldn't throw. It was like a RPO play, so I couldn't really throw the ball to likely, you know, the offensive line was down the field. So I was trying to make something happen. Tried to squeeze the ball, slipped out my hand. Von Miller picked it up, got some yards. I think that led to points for them. So it's a team effort out there. You know, he's been busting his behind, he making plays happen out there on that field for us. Came up short. And like I've been saying all season, every time we're in situations like this, turnovers play a factor. Penalties play a factor. Tonight, the turnovers, we can't have it, you know? And that's why we lost the game, because as you can see, we're moving the ball wonderfully. It's hold on to the ball. I'm sorry for my language. Annoying. I'm tired. You know, we competing. We competing, don't get me wrong, but hats off to him, hats off to me. That's what he said to me. You know, great players, you know, recognize greatness. And we both recognize each other, you know. But I told him, man, go get something, go win something, man, you know. MVP, Super Bowl, do something. I want him to be successful, you know.
Lamar, did you talk to Mark after the game? I know you guys are really close.
Yeah, I talked to him on the sideline, but I'm just as hurt as Mark. You know, it's his fault. Like, all of us played a factor in that game. You know, it's a team effort. I'm not gonna put that on Mark, bro, because he's been battling all season. He's been doing all the great things he's been doing all season. It don't always go our way. We want it to, but at the wrong time, it's like it's not going our way. We need to figure that out. You know. I mean, I don't even know how you want me to answer that question, man. Like, you basically said it. I said it. Protect the ball. We're not having this convo. You're not asking that question, you know, because if we protect the ball, we still on the field. Now, I believe we driving the ball down the field and we pump points. I don't care if it's a field goal or a touchdown. And there was 3 opportunities that those guys had on their defense that they made for their team to win. we didn't do what we were supposed to do, protecting the ball. That's the number one priority. We didn't do it. Especially me. I'm the leader. I got to protect the ball. You know? So I'm hot.
Can't ask for much more than the accountability of the leader of this team. It is remarkable that the 10 winning teams in the playoffs have 3 turnovers. The 10 teams who've lost have 21. That's amazing. We know the story for Jackson. This divisional round has been a challenge for him. He's lost 3 of the 4 games he's played in this round. Turnovers have been an issue in many of those. Threw a touchdown, threw a perfect pass.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn. Video ngày hôm nay của mình sẽ làm là video tô mò. Đây là những sản phẩm của mình chuẩn bị tô mò cho các bạn xem này. Rất chi là nhiều này. Đây.